What's up, superhero fans? It is Fit Nerd from Superheroes Ultimate. The endgame is finally here. 11 years, 21 movies leading up to the biggest superhero movie of all time. Let's break it down. If you're new to this channel, then hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications button so you can stay updated in the here and now in the superhero world. Warning, this video will contain a ton of spoilers towards the movie. If you have not seen it, pause it, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and check out the last video, which is our safe, non-spoiler review. Without further ado, this is your final warning. Let's break this down. Finally, after so many years in the MCU, the word Hawkeye is finally said by Hawkeye himself, and he calls his daughter Hawkeye, which may be an Easter egg towards the future of Phase 4, where his daughter is going to take up the mantle of Hawkeye. Yeah, that's right. The word Hawkeye has never been said in the entire MCU. The closest we ever got was actually in the Avengers movie.
Where's Agent Barton? Hawk.
We have New Asgard, which was referred to in Thor Ragnarok by Odin himself.
Remember this place. Home.
And it actually became New Asgard, and it's actually similar to what happened in the comics, where New Asgard actually came to Earth in an island. Black Widow basically becomes the boss of S.H.I.E.L.D., or whatever is left of S.H.I.E.L.D. Carol Danvers is rocking her new hairdo, which is more accurate to the comics. Nebula is a good guy, Thanos is retired, Thor has become the new Lebowski, Meek and Korg are pro Fortnite players, and Hawkeye and Black Widow team up for one last time. And that's only scratching the surface of what has happened in this movie. Now, fans from all over the net have come up with insane theories of what was to happen in Endgame. So let's go over some of the theories. One of the theories is that Hawkeye's entire family was lost in the Thanos snap and then became Ronin. Ronin did become his assassin self after losing his entire family and just started going after all the bad guys and killing them. Confirmed. Then there was a theory about seeing an actual Professor Hulk, which I spoke about in the last trailer breakdown. This big space here, when Captain America is walking in, is actually where Professor Hulk maybe? Finally got to see a Professor Hulk, Bruce Banner, and the Hulk merge into one single person, which is actually this very happy-go-lucky, not angry Hulk. Smash! Will there be time travel or traveling through the quantum realm? Or is there a connection between the two? Turns out that everyone's theory was basically correct. Confirmed. They did use the quantum realm for time travel.
Hey, Scott!
Throughout these movies, many fans have noticed that Tony's arm was always bothering him, or he always said that his discomfort or he had pain within his arms. The power of the Infinity Stones basically have an infinite universal power to them, that when Tony Stark actually used the Infinity Stones, that it actually caused a ripple in time, that he actually felt it throughout all of his existence. Confirmed. Pepper Potts finally rocked a suit of her own similar to the one in the comics Rescue. Confirmed. Theory of everything being undone by the snap actually came to fruition when Professor Hulk was the one to actually sport the gauntlet first. Since he was the one that rocked the gauntlet, nobody ever suspected that Tony Stark will actually rock it also. Confirmed. One of the other theories is that since Tony Stark and Nebula were stuck in space, the only possible way to save them was with Captain Marvel. Confirmed. Now for the theory that was going out like wildfire, that Ant-Man was going to crawl up Thanos' butt and expand and kill him. No, that did not happen. We still got to see Ant-Man shrink and then become Giant Man, but no, he did not crawl up anybody's butt and expand.
Nope.
Another one that was actually considered besides Iron Man to rock the gauntlet was Nebula, because in the comics of the Infinity Gauntlet, Nebula was actually the one that rocked the gauntlet.
Nope.
And wanted to take a moment and give a big shout out to Performa with their cool gear with shaker cups, wristbands, all officially licensed, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, and so much more cool gear. Check out the description below and use code FITNERD15 and you will get 15% off your entire order. Endgame of an era of 11 years worth of MCU movies. 21 movies have taken place prior to the events of Endgame. And the Russo brothers were incredibly creative in the way how they referenced all of the past MCU movies. Now if you really pay attention, there's a lot of references to a lot of the Captain America, Iron Man, and of course the other Avenger movie. One of the ones that really sticks out and starts up the battle is when Sam Wilson comes on the radio and says, this is from the scene in Captain America Winter Soldier where Sam Wilson and Captain America first met. Shortly after being saved by Captain Marvel, Iron Man let Cap have it as he was pissed off for the fact that Iron Man was right.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
There needed to be a suit of armor around the world.
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Morgan H. Stark, which was referenced from Infinity War when he was jogging with Pepper Potts.
Named him after your eccentric uncle. What was his name? Morgan.
At the end of Avengers 2, Tony Stark mentioned to Captain America that he wanted to try out that life like Clint and get Pepper a farm, a house, and just settle down in the outskirts. The Ancient One makes an appearance from Doctor Strange, and we get the answers of where the sorcerers were when the Chitauri were invading New York City. Turns out that they were actually in the middle of the fight as well, but they were doing it in secret. It's actually pretty cool because it's referencing both Doctor Strange and Infinity War, because Doctor Strange is the one that first encounters the Hulk, and now the Hulk is actually encountering the Ancient One. Now of course in the movie Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange first uses the Time Stone, we get a warning that playing with time can cause changes, paradoxes, branches to new timelines, and even leave unstable openings to other dimensions.
Temporal manipulations can create branches in time, unstable dimensional openings, spatial paradoxes, time loops.
You weren't manipulating the space-time continuum, you were breaking it.
Even that moment when Professor Hulk actually says that he should be the one to rock the gauntlet because the stones radiate gamma radiation, and he says he was made for this. Now this could actually lead back to Avengers 1.
Throwing off interference, radiation. Nothing harmful, low levels of gamma radiation. That can be harmful.
Now of course Endgame is not the official ending of all of these movies. In fact, it opened up a ton of unanswered questions. The MCU has already plotted basically the next 5 to 10 years worth of storytelling. One of the unanswered questions is, where the hell did Loki go? 2012 Loki, due to Tony just completely messing up and not getting the Tesseract, it ended up being in the hands of Loki. Now since Loki has disappeared, this may actually cause another break in time or a different alternate timeline, which means that Loki may have never actually even gotten to the stage where Thanos actually kills him. And what the hell happened to Gamora? We know that Thanos killed her to get this Soul Stone, but now we have past Gamora in the future with Future Nebula.
Where's Gamora?
Now we know when they took out the Infinity Stones, they had to place them, as warned by the Ancient One, back to exactly the time where they were taken. So technically all of the stones were only missing for a couple of seconds. So if the Soul Stone is returned, will the person that was sacrificed for the Soul Stone end up coming back? Could this mean that Gamora and Black Widow are both going to come back? Not only that, but past Thanos, 2014 Thanos to be exact, is now officially dead, which means the actual events of him collecting all the stones and doing the snap and wiping out half the universe might not have happened, which can actually cause a time paradox or another time branch. This could mean that we have two different timelines. We have one timeline where Thanos actually survived, did the snap, and succeeded in wiping out half the universe, and then we have another timeline where Thanos from 2014 is now ceased to existence. He doesn't exist. Literally, he was wiped off the entire universe. He doesn't exist from 2014. Could this lead into the future of the MCU where Phase 4 is actually dealing with the differences in the two timelines? This basically means that Phase 4 is already in motion. We have that incredible scene with all of the women of Marvel. We finally get an answer to the retirement of Captain America and that Sam Wilson will take over the mantle. the Asgardians of the Galaxy is now actually going to be a thing where Thor is with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Asgardians of the Galaxy is actually a thing that happened in the comics, which could actually be either part of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, or it could just be another Thor movie. We have Pepper and Morgan. What future will they have? Not only that, but we already know that we're getting sequels to Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, which in the sequel could actually have to do with the broken timelines or some type of broken dimensional openings and new threats from other realms like Dormammu actually being able to access our world. Sequels to Ant-Man and the Wasp, where the quantum realm is messed up. We now have Professor Hulk, and we know we're going to get a sequel to Captain Marvel. So there's a ton of characters with open-ended stories. Of course, with the greatness of this movie, if I were to go through every single tiny Easter egg and spoiler of this movie, I would be here for at least 3 to 4 hours discussing to you about all of the amazing scenes or references to past MCU movies. Wow. 4 best moments of this entire movie during the epic battle of the trio of the MCU, which is Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America up against Thanos and getting their butts kicked. But at the moment of the biggest battle in all of MCU history, we finally get every single character you could possibly think of ready to battle the entire forces of Thanos, and Captain finally says,
Avengers assemble!
The moment he said that gave me chills down my freaking spine. Everyone in the theater just lost their minds. Everybody was just going up, clapping and cheering and just going insane. Then of course we have to receive some type of closure with the man himself. Robert Downey Jr. will no longer be Iron Man, and how better to actually come full circle with Iron Man number 1, which at the end of the movie when he was at the press conference and discussing about the things that happened and how he isn't Iron Man, and then of course we all know what he says. What better way to actually say it than at the moment that he is about to save the entire freaking universe and says, I am Iron Man. Boom! Right at that moment when he picked up the Infinity Stones and said, I am Iron Man, the entire theater just went buck wild. I mean, there's not a single soul in that theater that didn't go absolutely insane at that moment that he picked up the Infinity Gauntlet. People were already losing their minds, and then he finally said it, I am Iron Man, was just the ultimate closing to a chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, coming full circle from 22 movies. Besides Captain America saying Avengers Assemble, or Iron Man saying I am Iron Man, or the entire battle scene, which was just 40 minutes of glorious fan service, the number 1 pick for me was when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, which means he is worthy. This is probably one of the greatest things to ever happen, is when Captain America is actually having the power of Thor in his hand and seeing him kick the crap out of Thanos. Now of course all of us have had a theory that he will eventually get the hammer, because in Age of Ultron he was the only one that was actually able to budge the hammer. This movie was just a roller coaster of emotions, of sadness, happiness, excitement, and just chills down my spine of how amazing they have actually connected an entire universe, 21 movies, 11 years worth of movies, into one glorious fan event. Because this is what this is. This is one gigantic fan service, and it's literally planting the seeds to what is going to be Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I, for one, am totally excited to see the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not only that, but we have to discuss the cameos in this movie, and there were actually more than one cameo in this movie. Of course, we got to see the final cameo of Stan the Man Lee in the 70s, in his 70s look, the same way he used to look in the 70s, driving down the road with the bumper sticker that said, "Enough said," which is of course one of his catchphrases, "Enough said." Seeing the final cameo of Stan Lee, of course this was a big moment, an exciting moment, where everybody just clapped their hands in the theater, seeing the man himself in his final cameo ever. It wasn't actually the only cameo. If you guys didn't notice in the meeting, there were actually some important characters. We actually got one of the Russo brothers to actually cameo in this movie, and for those guys wondering who that guy with the glasses is? This is Jim Starlin, which is the creator of Thanos. So what do you superfans think? This movie was possibly, and I don't believe it's an outrageous statement, the best superhero movie of all time. Confirmed. As all the spoilers in this movie, if I were to discuss the hundreds and hundreds of Easter eggs and references in this movie, I would be here talking for at least 3 to 4 hours straight. Just because there's so much in this one single movie, pulling together the past 11 years of awesomeness. Are you ready for Phase 4? What was your favorite scene? What scene are you most shocked about? What were you disappointed about? What are you disappointed that they didn't cover or give you closure on? Comment below, I want to know about it. Hey superfans, unleash your inner superhero with these super compression shirts, tank tops, leggings, shorts, t-shirts, and even costumes. Link in the description below. Until the next, this is Fit Nerd. Over and out.
I am Iron Man.
3, 2, 1, a blaze!
That up there, that's the end game.